I was teaching, was it last week? Yeah, last week. That, she still didn't believe how much I have mastered EU. She's like, am I using magic to trade, or like she just asking sort of questions which I understand as somebody who is just starting, because I've taught her almost everything she needs to know except my entry pattern and timing pattern. And she's still like, but how are you able to know this would happen? This would happen. Because I remember that very day before we did this analysis together. Um, but before this analysis, let me show you something. The last trade I took, or I traded while I was teaching her in class, was last week Friday. I think that was this trade that I posted on my Facebook, which all of you saw. This trade was by 7 p.m. You can check the time, 7 p.m. last week Friday. So I was just teaching her, and I said, because I took this first buy and then this sell, but I saw this buy had a buy limit here. It didn't get triggered. I deleted it by 5 p.m. While I was teaching her by 7 p.m., I saw the market just came to that area. Then I told her this would hold. And I entered the trade, and I explained to her why it will hold. In that class, I also explained to her that I think the market was somewhere here. When I told her the market will come here and we'll use this line to do the next drop. I also took this sell. You can check my Facebook timeline. I have all of these trades there. I posted every one of them. After this sell, I actually took another sell above it. So when I met her in class last week, no, not last week, on Thursday this week, after teaching her, she said, okay, please analyze something. Let me see something that would happen next. And I said, okay, I've traded live with you, but you are still doubting. Let me analyze something then. Then on Thursday, I told her to share her phone screen, and I just showed her how to analyze. This is my phone actually, but I told her to share hers, and I told her what to do on daily, 4 hour and 1 hour, and where to mark as entry on the 5 minutes. Meanwhile, we didn't look at inducement or all of these things while doing this. For me, this first entry we marked wouldn't have been my entry, but because I'm still teaching her how to work no zones, so I told her to use the whole zone as entry, this same one zone as entry. For me, I would have picked, which I will show you on chat shortly, where I would have used as entry. And I'm doing this so you can learn too, that is following me on any of my social media platform. So after analyzing this was Thursday. I told her this can get triggered that same, no, this was, I think, Wednesday night. So I told her this would get triggered Thursday or Friday, that she shouldn't worry. She said, what about all of this structure? I said, ignore every other structure that is not where I marked now. If it doesn't come here, don't trade. If it doesn't come here or here, don't trade. Every other one is minor. And fast forward to Friday, got triggered on Friday. This was a setup. Usually, if I want to pick this entry, I would show to you where I would have picked it. But let me expand this so you see it. You see, it got triggered and hit take profit that same Friday. It was analyzed Wednesday night / Thursday morning. It got triggered Friday and hit take profit at about 2:50, 2:45 p.m. And that was one of my best timing to take trade. Oops, I just told you guys something I would not say. Okay, 2:45 is one. Let me leave that. So at exactly that time, that's, oh dear. Let me not exaggerate on that before my student will come fight me. So it got triggered that time, and funny enough, I mentioned that time that it will either get triggered 12:45 or 2:45. And it triggered 2:45, went to take profit immediately. Not immediately, after some minutes or an hour or two. And here's the trade. I know she must be surprised to see this now, because I guess she wouldn't check. But in that class, I also told her if I wanted to pick my entry using one of my entry criteria, because I have 3 entry criteria when I get my zone like this. But let me just drop this in one of them, which if you are smart enough, you would get it. This is it. That's where I would have picked my entry for this trade. Oh, you can see it now. I didn't even know it got there. And this is where I would have put my entry. Did you see it now? Perfect. That's where I would have inside of this zone, that's where I would have picked my entry, and my stop loss will be reduced. This was 8.1 pips. I will reduce it to 4.5 or 5.0. 5.5 is okay. And that's it. The trader was giving us 1 ratio 3.5 before. He's now giving me 1 ratio 6. So it's as simple as that. Since this didn't get triggered, I told her if this didn't get triggered, delete it. If this hits stop loss, this is your second trade. I don't take more than 2 trades as a normal day trader. So if this gets hit, if this stop loss gets hit, you are done. But if it doesn't get hit, you're good. And here is it. Simple and straightforward. So trading is not supposed to be complicated. We are the one complicating it. How I did that analysis that day, she was just watching. Not really me doing it. I was just telling her, mark here, because she was sharing her screen. I said, go to the daily, mark here, go to 4 hours, remove that daily line, put it here. Go to 1 hour, ignore this area. This is the area we are looking at. Then go to 5 minutes and fix your entry. Don't worry about any other thing. This, if either it works or it doesn't work, trading is not something you should. It's either it hits stop loss or hit take profit. No need for much talks. So I thought to not just show her this, but also explain it to my Facebook community or probably YouTube or X, any platform you see this. I just want you to learn something from it, backtest it. I'm currently on chat now. I want to backtest. I thought to do this video before I start backtesting because it's something I do not every weekend, but most weekends. So I just want to use today to backtest and check out a few things I noticed during the week. And if you must know, okay, let me leave that. So do have a wonderful time, and please comment 1 or 2 things you liked or what you would love me to talk about in case I want to do something like this again. Do have a wonderful time. Remain blessed.